G'day everyone, welcome back to another live hangout here at Voice Essentials. I had to think about that one today because today we are doing a vocal analysis, which I'm looking forward to. Hence, I've got the headphones on. I'm all ready to go. Today we are going to be doing a vocal analysis of Elize. I hope I'm saying your name correctly, Elize, because I'm tempted to pronounce it like Elize, but anyway, I hope I'm pronouncing it correctly. I would make a terrible newsreader. I really would. I would be terrible. Because I just get the pronunciations of so many different names so wrong, particularly in my vocal analysis videos where I'm reviewing, I should say, not renewing, reviewing people's performances from all over the world, and some of the different names and the way they're correctly pronounced. I'm a shocker. I apologize for being a shocker, but there you go. Mackenzie Kate, it is good to see you. It's been a little while, Mackenzie Kate, since you've been with us. So it's good to see Mackenzie Kate back in the house. Good to see Dean and Rebecca and Marsh and Murray all here, and Laura sings. Laura, it's been a little while since we've had Laura here as well. The most recent vocal analysis that we have done was with Laura. No, Laura was the first one. We then did Amelia and Kathy, didn't we? So today we're doing. I'm just going to keep pronouncing Eliza's name, Eliza, and Eliza is singing Annie's song. It's a John Denver piece. We'll get to it in a moment. Very quickly, the random piece of trivia that we typically give out at the beginning of the show, which Linda always finds. Today, did you know today it is 56 years? It's Moonwalk Day. It coined by Linda. It's Moonwalk Day because it's 56 years since Buzz Aldrin and Neil Armstrong walked on the moon for the first time. 56 years. Of course, that it happened 4 years before I was born. There's some quick sums you can do. So there you go. Now, just a reminder that we will not be doing a live hangout for the next 2 weeks. So it's going to be 3 weeks before I see you, because I am off to the International Congress of Voice Teachers in Toronto, Canada. I leave literally Monday in a week's time. And so this time next week, I'll be somewhere over the Pacific, I would say, on my way to my stopover, which is Vancouver. I'm really looking forward to this trip. I am presenting at the ICVT. I'm presenting on the subject of being a YouTube singing teacher, which is kind of funny to say because the predominant amount of teaching that I do is here in the studio and online with private students. At any given moment, I've got anywhere between 50 to 60 private students. Unlike some singing teachers that you might find online, I am actually 5 days a week, and have been for the last 30 years, an actual real life singing teacher. It is all I do. And so, yeah, it's one of those odd things. So anyway, we're talking about my life as a YouTube teacher, the good, the bad, and the busy. And so I'm going to walk people through understanding YouTube as a platform, as an ecosystem, and all of those things. So I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to meeting, you know how we have a lot of special guests here on the show? I'm looking forward to meeting a lot of those special guests in Toronto in person. Some of them I've already met because this is not the first time I've been to an ICVT. In fact, it's not the first time I've presented at an ICVT. In fact, I've never gone to an ICVT and not presented. So there you go. My first one was in Paris in 2009. I was a part of the two-man, and it was two guys. We put together the bid to host the International Congress here in Brisbane in 2013. We were successful in that. Then I went to Stockholm in 2017, presented at that as well. I did three. I want to say three. It might have just been two presentations in Stockholm, and didn't go to the one in Vienna because of COVID. They still held it, but there was still a lot of questions around COVID at that time, 4 years ago, so I didn't go. But anyway, back to Toronto, and I'm looking forward to, this is my first time I've ever been to the American continent, into North America, and so I'm looking forward to it, and looking forward to catching up with Kathy and Emily when on the Friday night we're going to get together and go and have a meal. And for those of you who don't know, Emily, did I call her Amelia before? Emily was a part of the last review that we did, the last vocal analysis review, and Kathy, of course, is a very well-known person within our, particularly on Facebook, in our Facebook community. So I'll be honest, it's going to be one of the highlights of the trip for me, is to meet those two ladies in person. I see Emily every 2 weeks for her individual lesson, but looking forward to, to actually seeing them face to face. I still remember meeting Linda face to face, and it was lovely. Linda, we have to do that again sometime, at some point, where we get together and see each other in person. So yeah, no show for the next 2 weeks. Today, as we look at the analysis, just to give you a heads up, I'm going to show you what I've kind of started already doing as a part of the vocal analysis that I do for my reaction videos, where we're going to not only have a listen to Elize singing Annie's song, the John Denver piece, but then we're going to do some pitch analysis, we're going to do some spectrogram analysis, some resonance analysis, and like I've said, I've started doing those. You won't see that in my reaction videos until December-ish, but this is kind of a preview, if you will, of the kind of stuff I'm doing. I'm going to put my hand up and say I am still learning how to do this aspect of the reaction video in a manner that is educational and insightful and helpful. And so if I'm just getting ahead of myself. A quick disclaimer: if it comes across as a bit clunky, which I'm hoping it won't, but if it does, it's because I'm still learning how to work there's a bit of, I've got to jump around and do a bit of stuff. Anyway, I see Patricia's in the house. So is Neebe. It's always good to have so many of you coming in here week after week after week. Tricia says it's a beautiful day in Newcastle. Tricia, I think my son is down that way, so it's nice to know that he's got good weather as well. Anyway, let's jump into this, and I'm going to come across. Let me come to here. Let's jump in and let's have a listen to Elize's cover of Annie's song. Linda, before we start, Linda said to me, sent an email kind of suggesting that John Denver was before my time, which in many respects he was, but I grew up listening to I listened to a lot of John Denver as a kid, and the reason being is my mum loved John Denver, like loved. So we had a number of John Denver LPs. And then when I got into my teenage years, and I started to be asked, and people requested to have me sing at their weddings, I sang a John Denver song called "For You." I sang for you. I sang for you a lot, but that's another story. Let's dive in here. Let's have a listen to Annie's song by Elize. And just so you don't, just in case you haven't seen me do this kind of thing before, we won't watch the whole thing beginning to end. I'm going to, after a period of time, jump in and we'll make comments. And this is designed to be a learning opportunity for Elize, but I do try to make it generalized in the sense that you can take something away and apply it to your own voice, and I hope that's the outcome. Let's have a listen.
You fill up my senses like a night in a forest, like the mountains in springtime, like a walk in the rain, like a storm in the desert, like a sleepy blue ocean. You fill up my senses, come fill me again. Come, let me love you, let me give my life to you. Let me drown in your laughter, let me die in your arms. Let me lay down beside you. Let me always be with you. Come, let me love you. Come, love me again.
Lovely. There is a little bit to go there, but we're just going to pause there. And I to start with, when Elize shared this performance, when I made the request for people to share performances that we could review, literally the first thing that struck me was how beautifully, for what it is, how beautifully it's been recorded. And I wanted to really acknowledge that from the get-go. I mean, obviously, we're working with a relatively, a quality mic. It's, we can tell that in part because it's got an XLR connection. So it's not just a USB mic straight into a computer. It actually is a professional standard mic. But also Elize, and I don't know who has done the post-production, as in who has mixed this, but someone's put a lovely light reverb on it, just enough to give it a little bit of presence and color, and I just love it. And they've balanced it beautifully against the piano so that the piano by no means dominates, but the voice is sitting out front. And yeah, I just thought, for what is quite obviously a recording that's been done at home in a room somewhere, I just thought it was a really nice job. And I think it's something that we can all aspire to, is to come up, when we're just simply doing something like this, she's self-accompanying. That in and of itself is a challenge, to self-accompany and sing. To put something together that's got just a lovely polish to it, I think is really, really bang up job, Elize. I really like it. Let's go back and have a listen to the voice per se, and we'll listen to, we're going to jump in and look at some things. We'll look at pitch analysis, and I really do, Elize's pitch is really good. there is, and I'll show you in a moment in Melodyne, there is no question. This has not been, fiddled with in post. It hasn't been pitch corrected. I'll show you how we can see that in a moment. Let's start from the beginning, and then I'm going to, start and stop as we go along.
You fill up my senses like a night in a forest, like the mountains in springtime, like a walk in the rain, like a...
So before we get to looking at pitch, the only thing I literally just noticed this here. The one thing with the way the mic has been set up, quite obviously Elize is reading. I don't know whether she's purely reading the dots to play or reading the lyric as well, maybe both. And we can see the way the mic has been set up is so that she can certainly look, past that mic and not have the mic, get in the way of the music and the sheet music, the lyrics, etc. I wonder whether it just gives me the sense in which we're kind of getting a little bit of a lean forward. Now, again, as we often say, over the space of a single song, I don't think this is leaning towards it being a terrible challenge, other than we don't want to find ourselves in that position because it will place restriction around vocal track shape, because it's going to cause extrinsic tension, which is not only unnecessary, it is going to inhibit that full development of sound. So whenever you're setting your mic up for whether it's for rehearsal, recording, performance, whenever you're doing that, make sure you set the mic up in such a way that you don't have to go to it, that it is sitting at a relative distance that is not going to require you to do that. Now, interestingly, I don't think in this instance the mic is set up incorrectly. It's just that there seems to be still this tendency to bring the head forward. Can I also say, and there is a link to this performance in the description, this was back, Elize did this back in 2024. So like all of us, that's 18 months ago. Elize may well already have addressed these issues, but nonetheless, we get to see it in this recording. Let's continue, and then we're going to pick up on some pitch stuff.
Storm in the desert, like a sleepy blue ocean. You fill up my senses, come fill me again.
So let's have a look at that area there. I'm going to come over to 40. I'll bring you over so you can see which screen I'm on. I'm going to come up to 44. Let's have a look at from this point here.
You fill up my senses, come fill me again.
So that's a good example of just that phrase there. We can see that Elize has not gone in post and fixed everything. Let's have a look at, and a lot of you haven't seen Melodyne or the way it works before. And so what I've done here is I've extracted, using a program called Moises, I've extracted the vocal stem. So all we're hearing is the voice. I've removed the piano. And what I want to show you is if I do this, and I'll just do that group there. So now, I'm about to use Melodyne. For those of you who have not seen Melodyne used before, I'm about to use Melodyne in a incredibly crude way. When people are professionally using Melodyne, they are unlikely to do this, right? So what I want to do is we're going to bring everything to the exact pitch center. Have a watch what happens. See that? Have a watch of what happens.
You fill up my senses. Come fill me again.
So that's perfectly tuned. If I take it back.
You fill up my senses. Come fill me again.
What I want to point out here is when I listen to both of them, you know, and we're getting to A, B this, you know, I personally don't see I don't hear a lot of difference. There's definitely difference. The difference is this. You can see how much those notes move when we go to dead center pitch. But Elize's pitch, relative pitch, is really spot on. It's spot on to the point that there's not a need to adjust or correct her pitch. The area that I think we could really gain is in the way some of her vowels are being shaped. Now, Elize currently lives in the UK, but I believe is South African. Elize, you can correct me in the chat if you're in the live chat or in the comments below, but I'm fairly confident that's the case. And so what we can, when our pronunciation of different words, dependent on our own dialect and the way we tend to shape certain vowels, can either benefit or be disadvantage the pitch. So for example, let's have a look at, I'm going to go back to here. So this note here. Again. Yeah, now, if we were just to change the pitch, just click it. Again. That would certainly fix the pitch. But what we can also do in Melodyne is we can actually shift the format. Again. So have a listen to this. I've just moved I've moved the format higher. Again. Hear how that actually makes a difference to the vowel. Again. See how the format flattens out the vowel. So if I bring that up again. And so that actually then alters the pitch ever so slightly. If I was to do both. Again. See, I don't like what that does with when we change the format and the pitch. I think that muddies it a little bit. Again. That's lovely. You fill up my... See this note here? Fill up my... So if we're to... You fill up my... Whereas I reckon if we just change the format on that one... My... Fill up my... Now I'm just blank. Usually we have to usually to go if the pitch has to go higher, usually the format has to go lower. Hear how that works? Yeah. Oh. Fill up my senses. Yeah, and for those of you who are interested, actually, I won't. We might come back to the point I was about to make. Let's continue now with just the tune, and then we might look at some a bit more of the way we get to look at the spectrogram and the resonance aspect of the voice. Let's come back over here and continue.
Come, let me love you. Let me give my life to you.
That might be an interesting thing to look at. I just want to come over to this part here. Where are we? 48. So this is a program called VoceVista. Pretty complex program, and I'm still working my way around it.
Fill up my senses. Come fill me again. Come, let me love you.
So I want to just let's have a look at this here. Can you see my pointer on screen? Can you have a look at this vowel here?
Love.
So the love, Eliza's got a lovely production of that vowel, and we're getting good. So this note here, if I take, oh, hang on, we don't want that. We want this. If we take the spectrogram away, this bottom note is kind of what we were looking at before in the what's it called, in Melodyne. So this is the mean average of the note and the fundamental of the pitch. If I come back up here, now what we've got, this is the fundamental, and then we've got the overtones. And the overtones together form the complex sound that we then interpret or hear as the actual note. In this case, it's a D4. Love. But I want you to have a look at what happens with this vowel. Can you see how we get a drop-off in the shape?
Love you.
And that's driven in part because of the air. There is, I think, an aesthetic choice being made by our singer to sort of drop off. I think, and you might hold a different opinion of this, but I think there is an opportunity to hold the shape of that note, love you, a little bit longer. I think perhaps we're seeing some air collapse here. This is important in our phrasing, that we do shape that we extend our air through to the very end of our phrases, that we have enough fuel to run the journey of each vowel.
Let me give my life to you.
To you. And that note there, let's come back over to, I want to have a look at what Eliza does with her mouth, because I think we need a bit more shape there for ooh.
Me again. Come, let me love you.
See that ooh? I think that ooh, come let me love you, rounder. And we're going to get a much better development of shape there.
Let me give my life to you.
To you, you. That note that we were looking at before, you.
Let me give my life to you.
See how we lose this resonance? When I'm talking to students about the color of their vowels, the color of their voice, this area here is fully distinguished by the shape of the vowel and by the readiness of the singer to give the vocal tract the full opportunity to enhance the resonance. Remember, your vocal tract is filtering resonance. In some respects, it's boosting, it's adding, like when we're doing twang, it's boosting resonance. But at other times, when we don't fully form our vocal tract shapes, then we lose resonance. It detracts, it filters the resonance out. And it's important for us to know when we come to doing these sorts of things.
Let me drown in your laughter. Let me die in your arms.
Oh, I want it. That was lovely, wasn't it? The way she, have a listen to the way Elize phrases that. She kind of holds on it and then continues. It's one of the great advantages of self-accompaniment. She was able to really go with the voice on the way she wanted to present that phrase. Have a listen to that again because it was lovely.
After, let me die in your arms.
Let me die in your arms. That's lovely.
Let me lay down beside you.
Again, so Eliza, if you're watching this, I want to see more shape. Again, this is 18 months ago. You may already be doing this. Go looking for more shape. I find, for me, and actually for most of my students, the vowel that we have to, or the shape we have to be most intentional about as English speakers is oo and oh, and that sort of presentation of that particular area of shape. We have to be really intentional with it. Yeah, so be mindful of that.
Let me always be with you. Come, let me love you. Come, love me again.
Come love me again. Where are we? A minute 30. I want to have a look at, I'm thinking it's going to be around about, here.
Come love me again.
Have a look at what happens again. Have a look at what happens when you go to that diphthong of that shape of that n. Not only does it, it kind of, we got there too quick in my opinion, but have a look at the way it impacts the shape of the note as far as the resonance goes. But if we come over to, where are we? 1 minute 30. Have a look at what happens to the pitch, if I can find the right note.
My senses, like an,
I'm in the wrong place. Coming back here.
come let me love. Come let
Oh, we've got something weird going on. I don't know what's happening there. Something's going on with the computer, but have a look at what happened. This is the N. Oh, what a shame that's happening. N. So when she's gone to the N, you can see that the pitch has significantly shifted. And we've got to be careful of that when we go to the end of a phrase, particularly on shapes, phonemes like N. It can affect your pitch. And we saw back in the, let me see if that's,
again.
I don't know what's, do you know what? It's, I wonder.
Again.
So yeah, anyway, we can see that shift, but it's also affecting the color, yeah, of the note. This is an interesting point because we're coming to the end. You can see this movement. I wonder if we can really see that movement. You can see that you, as opposed to you, straight on.
Up my sense.
So we see this little lilt here. I'm hoping you're finding this helpful. I find this sort of stuff fascinating because you really get to deep dive into seeing what your little nuances do with the shape of your words and vowels and the things that you're choosing aesthetically to do. What is it doing to the overall color?
You fill up my senses like a night in a forest.
I like the way she she put that H in there.
Senses like a night in a forest. Like the mountains in springtime, like a walk in the rain, like a storm in the desert, like a sleepy blue ocean. You fill up my senses, come fill me again.
Lovely. Lovely. Thank you, Eliza, for allowing us to deep dive and have a look at your performance. I really do. I want to go back to my very first comments. Beautifully recorded for the context. And a beautiful choice of song for you, I think. But hopefully we've been able to identify some things that you can use to develop. And it's, I think for yourself, it's more around vowel shape, and we could see how that impacted not only the resonance but also the pitch. Remembering that vocal folds are not the only place that we work on pitch. We also work on pitch through the filtering of our resonance, and so that's that. I hope that was helpful. Let me see if I can come over to oh, I'm going to the wrong things. Here we go. I want to come to our we've got some questions over here. I'm going to get rid of those. Was that helpful? Was that interesting? I would love to get your feedback as far as how you found the analysis aspect of it, the pitch analysis through Melodyne, looking at the spectrogram. Is it too nerdy? I desperately hope not, because I really quite like it. We are going to do a Q&A. In fact, I think we're only going to have time to do one Q&A, and that's going to be for Mackenzie Kate, who, despite the fact that Mackenzie has not been with us for weeks, if not months, it feels like, Mackenzie Kate, here we are with you with the first question. You never seem to fail. I just saw a comment here by Laura. Laura Sings saying, lovely singing. It was really lovely singing. I'm going to come back to, let's see if I can find Mackenzie's, here we go. This is the question I think we're going to be looking for. Mackenzie Kate is asking, my solo was blocked directly underneath a speaker. What Mackenzie means there, everyone, is, I think from memory, Mackenzie's been in a musical, and when we talk about blocking, it's what the director has asked, where the director has asked you to stand at a certain point, to either deliver line, lyric, or character, and for some reason, Mackenzie's solo was blocked directly underneath a speaker, and it caused feedback. He said, you heard the feedback right. I don't want to hurt your voice. I thought it was just a tech issue. There's further comment here. I'll just read it. I thought it was just tech. The first two lines of my solo were in my lower register. Okay, this is where Mackenzie said, no, I'll just read it. the first two lines of my solo were in my lower register, where my laryngologist said I have chord positioning issues which cause a lack of proper chord closure. Yeah, firstly, I think in some respects, Mackenzie, this is a bit on your director's shoulders. The last place you should be standing when delivering a solo, and you do mention later, I caught it, you said you were using a lav mic. A lavalier, a lapel mic, is omnidirectional, and well, generally speaking they are, and that means it's going to pick up everything around it, all around the mic. This mic is I'm pretty sure SM7B's a supercardioid. Anyway, the point being is it's not omnidirectional. It's mostly picking up my presence of sound here. It's going to pick up far less behind the mic. Lavalier, lapel mics, omni, it's equally picking up what's anywhere around it. And they are notorious for feedback. Like, it is one of the biggest challenges of using a lavalier is feedback in a live setting. So that's firstly on your director. Secondly, on your techie for not pointing that out to the director, going, if she stands there and delivers her solo, I am going to have tremendous issues with gain before feedback. I'm not going to be able to give a lot of volume, because if I do, that mic she's standing in that speaker she's standing in front of is going to feedback. Might is going to feedback, and so that's going to create a whole heap of issues. I'm just looking for the rest of what exactly it is that you were asking, Mackenzie, because I know because you're pointing out that it was a challenge to you. It would have been a challenge for anyone, I think, Mackenzie. So I really struggle to see how you really, as the performer, could have done anything different in that situation, other than perhaps if you could feel like you could advocate for yourself in that moment, if you feel like you are struggling. I personally believe a director, whether it be the musical director, the show director, the technical director, they all have, I personally think, a duty of care to their performers, and that includes your voice. I equally understand performers don't always feel comfortable because of the power imbalance that can be in play. But I encourage you, there are times where it is necessary, it's appropriate, and if you can, important to kind of put your hand up and say, this is not working for me. How can is there a way we can move forward where it's not such a challenge? I note here, Mackenzie, you've just said, my sound tech was saying this. I was wondering why he said he didn't want me to hurt my voice. I don't know, Mackenzie. We don't want to put words in his mouth. I would encourage you to go back and ask for clarification around that. Perhaps you'll get some insight into what's going on. We need to bring today to a close. I've got another 3. Remember, I was saying I'm a real singing teacher. I've got another 3 lessons to give today, having already given 3 this morning. So we're going to get into my teaching this afternoon. And we won't see each other for 3 weeks. Hey, if you've enjoyed today's vocal analysis and review, please give the thumbs up and leave your comments. Oh, before we've got to look at the poll. I left a poll here. This one, we've had 18 votes. We didn't quite get to our 21, but 18 votes is pretty good. Rebecca is giving us the drum roll, please. And are we ready? 3, 2, 1. Ending poll. And I can tell you, I am with the majority. So the majority, 50% of you said a studio session with producers is your dream singing scenario. 33% of you want to stand on a stage in a stadium performance. I wonder how your performance anxiety might go in that scenario. This is interesting. 16% said singing solo in the forest. Okay, well, that makes sense. That's a lovely Zen thing to do. None of you, like 0%. This is the first time, I think, in a poll we've had one of the options get a 0. 0% of you said you'd belt it out in the shower. I think that's perhaps because most of us can do that regardless. So, but I'm with the most of you, 9 of you. We can add my answer to studio session with Bridges. I love being in studio. I love it. I love the artistic challenge. I love the creative challenge. I love the vocal challenge. It can be wonderfully challenging to do, and so yeah. Linda's asking, who is the forest singer? I wonder if there's would it be only 2? Well, I think there might be 2. Is that correct for our sums? If 9 of us are, yeah, I wonder if it's 7 would be sold out and then 2 would be singing Soul in the Forest. Dean's declared himself. Dean is a forest singer, and so is Neebe. Okay, there you go. There's our 2 forest singers, Linda. It's good to know that this is a cheeky one from Linda. It's good to know that we've all moved beyond the shower. Still a pretty good place to sing. Let's wrap today's show up. I hope you've enjoyed today's show. I do know, I don't think Eliza has been in today's live, so I'm hoping she's going to be able to catch the show at a later date, and check out what we've done with her. I think partly because she lives in the UK, so she's probably asleep. She's almost certainly asleep, so hopefully she'll catch up with that later. I hope you all have a good 3 weeks. We will catch up again soon. I look forward to sharing with you when I see you all about the International Congress of Voice Teachers that I will be at, and we will catch up again soon. I'm Dr. Dan. Sing well.